Hey there, everyone. Welcome to episode 365 of the Building and Public series. Today is the last episode of the Building and Public series. I can't believe it's been a year already of just documenting content from start to finish. But yeah, today is going to be a pretty interesting one because we're going to go through the analytical side of the series. We're going to go through what it's done for us, what it's sort of generated for us as a whole, and we're also going to talk about the plan for the next stage of sort of our content journey when it comes to Provide as a whole, what the plan is for us, and basically what the plan is for 2026 as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's jump into the first part of the analytical side of it. So the interesting part about this, I'm getting all this content at the moment from like a YouTube playlist, like information website, and apparently, in terms of content, we've done about 27 hours and 15 minutes worth of content, which again doesn't really seem like it considering the average video duration is like what 4 minutes and 32 seconds, which doesn't seem like that much to be honest. But yeah, it's pretty interesting from that side of it. You can see here from like YouTube's perspective, we've generated about 51.3k impressions. We've done roughly about 916 views, and we've had about 12 and a half 12 and a half hours of watch time, which is again pretty cool for just a generic organic, bit of content. There's no paid advertising here. There's no, you know, editing or anything that goes into it. It's just raw, simple, and just what happens day to day with us. The interesting part as well. We obviously gained subscribers and stuff like that, which is cool. Again, it's this was just a fun little thing to look at and everything. The interesting part about this though is that obviously short form content is what leads the the views and everything because obviously it's very quick, it's very snappy, and it gets more views and everything. So that could be something to look at in the future. Because one thing we did when we first done this, we had a plan to basically get this series out on every single platform we could. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of them, right? But we quickly kind of noticed, midway through this series, with everything that we had going on and how busy we were and everything like that, we couldn't commit to getting things out to, say, for example, like TikTok and stuff. Because with TikTok, and this is something I've learned while doing this, you can't just throw a video out there. You have to clip it and put it into bite-sized chunks, right? So one video, let's say for example, it's like 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long. You'd have to break it up into like 20, 25 videos for TikTok to get it out there, which was just very time consuming. And I'm not going to lie, I think I gave up roughly around about like episode like 70 or 80 or something, because obviously we just got way too busy past that point. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was pretty interesting. But from a YouTube perspective, we done relatively okay. I mean, to be honest with you, you don't really see much because again, this content isn't it's not like a high quality type of content. I'm not in a studio recording stuff or talking about like interesting topics. I'm just talking about the day to day, like the business side of it. But yeah, going on to the next part then. The next interesting part about the social media side of it is Facebook was one of the other platforms that really liked this content, 17.3k views, and we only started really posting the video content. I think it was from like June or July because for whatever reason, and this is one thing I noticed about the whole content creation side of stuff, is again Facebook and Instagram don't like long form videos. They like it to a certain point, but not mega long videos, and that's why for whatever reason for the longest time we couldn't upload to Facebook or Instagram, but we managed to get around that and generate some thing from it. You can see here 1.8k visits. I'm assuming that's to that's the Facebook directly. 27 followers from that, and then Instagram is a bit of the same, but Instagram's more of an interesting one because it actually has when we started posting the actual content out and the videos out. And you can see here, it's only from about June or July, is it? Yeah, from July, when we started actually doing it. And you can see in terms of like reach and everything, it's done all right. Obviously, again, bear in mind this is only halfway through the series that we could do it. So, it's not too bad. I think honestly, overall, with everything, and that's like LinkedIn included as well. I think we've hit just shy of about 90,000 impressions or something on a series that is just plain cut, plain and simple out there, right? But yeah, in all honesty as well, just recapping on the series as a whole, what can happen in a year of just doing this is just nuts. Like I won't get too much into the specifics of it because I was thinking whether or not to actually showcase like how much this series has made, like monetary wise and everything. But I think it's just easier just to show you the analytical side of it, and this is what we've done from a series perspective since starting it, and we've increased year on year about 75%, give or take, which is pretty cool. And a lot of that genuinely is down to what we got up to near the start of the series, so around April, May time. So for those of you who aren't really aware of what happened, we joined a SEO community, and in that SEO community there was a challenge where agency owners essentially had to race against each other pretty much to try and get to 10k MRR within 3 months. So that was 10,000 US dollars, which is about £8,000 a month or something like that. And out of the whole group, two of us managed to do it. Me and an individual that I'm working with at the moment now called Brian. And yeah, that was a really interesting time for the company because that was probably one of the first times we've actually hit five figures a month consistently for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, it was great while it lasted, but it did drop off near the end of the series. But that's kind of expected because of the winter months and everything. But the interesting part about this series is what happened during the winter months this time around, right? So in this industry, in web dev, in anything like that, any technical side of it, usually from November until January, February is when they're your quiet months, right? And yeah, we definitely did not have a quiet period at all last year, which again I'm really really thankful for because I was generally concerned not only for the content side of it but the business side of it as well, what would actually happen throughout it, because I didn't want to exactly just showcase nothing happening. But yeah, we were very lucky. We got a lot of content done, a lot of websites done, and we got a lot of new clients as well do it, which is pretty cool. One thing we did throughout this series as well was, again, and this ties in with that challenge that we did with that SEO community. We documented our process of going after clients and getting clients and stuff. And this is the first time we jumped into making ads ourselves. This is the first time we jumped into you know, getting ourselves out there like this as well in terms of content and stuff. And to be honest with you, I'm just thankful it worked out in in the scenario where we are now, right? We're going into 2026. As you guys would have seen in yesterday's episode, if you watched it, we sent out a bunch of emails to clients, and we've actually had a very positive response when it comes to clients and doing some work in 2026 as well. So, we're closing off this series at the moment in probably one of the busiest periods we've had as a business. And yeah, it's just annoying that as things start to ramp up, that we come to an end of this series. You know what I mean? But it's not all the end of the world for us. We're still gonna do content. It's just not gonna be daily as a whole. And this kind of leads me on to what I've learned, while doing this. And one of the main things I would say is even though it's just recording yourself once a day, for 5, 10 minutes at a time or whatever, genuinely, if you do not set aside time for this, or you don't have a method to get the content out there or anything, it's a very, very time consuming task. Like one video might take an hour or 2 hours to get out there. And sometimes if you don't plan stuff, like for example, I haven't even planned really what we were going to do today, right? It can just take ages to get out and just really really nail down. But no, in all honesty, recording the content did do a lot for us. We actually planned around it a little bit, and we actually made it a part of our day to day, which is really cool. But going away from this now, I think where we're at is it's not going to be daily anymore. I think what we'll probably aim towards is, maybe a monthly piece of content showing you what happened in the month of January, showing you what happened in the month of February, that sort of stuff. I'm not too sure, right? Because content as a whole definitely has helped the business, but it's just the case of whether or not we have enough time to dedicate to content this year. You know what I mean? But yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. And obviously, I'll keep you guys updated on the progress of stuff and where we go from here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just like an insight into what it's like to do a year worth of content. It's again raw, plain, simple. And yeah, guys, that's the Building in Public series, episode 365. And my name has been Ryan from Providence Web Services. And if you guys like this sort of content, let me know. But for now, guys, that's it for me, and I'll see you sometime in the near future. Thank you. Bye for now.